Welcome back, y'all. Sports and Spirits. Got an awesome episode here to forecast your upcoming weekend in sports. Don't forget to take a quick second to hit that subscribe button. Like this video if you wouldn't mind. Help us get some more reach and continue to grow this incredible crew that we have rocking this thing so far. Later in the episode, we're going to get into this. It's another single barrel. If you watched our last episode, we showcased a new single barrel down at 7/8 Liquor. This is another one you can grab. This one is a collaboration between 7/8 Liquor and Rare Barrel Whiskey.
Yeah.
Another channel that we love, and I happen to be on. And he happens to be a store owner of 7/8 Liquor. Yep. So it all works out.
Yep.
We'll talk more about this Wild Turkey Rye later in the episode, but excited to get back into that bad boy. Something you can go and pick up at 7/8 Liquor in Bloomington, Minnesota. Dang. Oh, don't forget to also head over to all of our other social media platforms.
Yep.
Like us there, follow us there, do all that stuff. Lots of awesome stuff. Getting ready to come out, so you want to make sure you're tuned in to what's happening.
Absolutely.
Let's do it. What do we got coming up in the NFL?
Yeah. So as you guys are watching this, you're going to see on Thursday, you have the Buccaneers hosting the Falcons. Both teams coming off one a brutal loss and one an unexpected loss. You could potentially see the return of Mike Evans. We will see. Nonetheless, the Buccaneers, this is a must-win. This is a team that, has been up and down this year. We had spurts where okay, this is a team to watch out for. They've had some injury issues.
Yep.
They have some guys that are coming back healthy. The reinforcements are on the way. And the Falcons are depleted. Playing with Kirk Cousins, that they kind of gave up on last year. This is a game that if we remember watching on this day of the week last year, Kirk Cousins threw for 500 passing yards.
Yep.
So try not to do that.
No, don't do that.
Don't let him do that. But nonetheless, it's definitely a game the Bucs need to win. And
the Bucs lose this, they run the risk of letting the Panthers take the division.
Yeah, I do think that the Panthers could, still win the division nonetheless either way. But the Bucs definitely control their own destiny if they continue to win. But losing in a game that they should probably is not going to help you in that matter.
No.
But that's your Thursday game, and then we can transition into a Sunday slate.
All right.
We'll start at noon. You have the Bengals hosting the Ravens.
Oh, speaking of the Bengals.
Yeah, and this is probably the biggest shootout of the week, is my opinion, in terms of points scored. This could be one of those that's 38, 35, because that's been the Bengals all year.
Yep.
I think they're going to go down as the team that give up 30 points in the most games and lose, but also score and lose.
Yeah.
That defense is historically bad, and the Ravens should be able to find a way to exploit it this time around. They did not last time. The Ravens offense has not looked really good. So that's the question. Do we see a different Ravens offense on this Sunday compared to last Thursday against the Bengals?
You would hope so. After you see something like what they did last week. But the thing, too, is you got to solidify your spot in your division, because if you lose to these guys, you're not only giving them a chance to move up, but you're also putting yourself in the wrong position against the Steelers, who you just lost to.
Correct. Yeah. This would, in my opinion, pretty much semi-closely relate it to being out of it, with a loss here, potentially. So it's definitely a must-win game for the Ravens, but either way, we'll be tuned in. A lot of fantasy players in this one, so I'm sure a lot of you in your first round of your playoffs will be talking about this one for sure.
Yep.
And then we got the Houston Texans. They're kind of a team that is come onto the scene. They've won 4 or 5 in a row. They host the Cardinals in a matchup that's kind of your traditional, David versus Goliath, defense first offense.
Yep.
What that's going to look like. The Cardinals are pretty banged up, so I do like the Texans in this one. So temper your expectations on your Cardinal players, just because it's just a really tough matchup. That Texans defense is legit. They're good at all 3 levels. They get a lot of pressure. Jacoby Brissett's going to have trouble back there at having any time. So, but that'll be one to tune into for sure.
Here's the game I'm excited about.
This is the game, that Steve's excited for, but also myself. You have the Patriots hosting the Bills, coming off a bye. The Patriots were on a bye, and a rematch from about a month ago that was a phenomenal football game.
Yep.
Not only does the winner of this game probably win the division, but could potentially be one of those teams that's the contender in the AFC.
Whoever wins this, if the Patriots win this one, it's a lock.
Yeah, they win the division.
They've got it.
Yep, they've got the division on
Bills
box.
win this one, and it's Ooh, something could happen here.
Yeah,
Things are getting shaken up.
Yeah, the Patriots may. Then the question becomes: are the Patriots legit?
Right.
You know, was
Yeah.
that game a month ago a fluke? You
Right.
know, I don't know how to predict this game.
This is going to be an interesting one.
What do you think?
I'm going Patriots
Okay.
for several reasons.
Yeah.
They come off a bye.
Yep.
They're at home.
Yep.
What more do you need?
Right.
That's a recipe for a win right there.
It is.
And
Yeah.
look at the team's record. 11-2.
Yeah. They're a good football team. It's a
great.
good football. And as much as I would like to be like, I agree with everything you just said.
Here we go.
Which I do. There's something about this team when it comes to December in games they shouldn't win. And that's Buffalo. And I'm going to take the Bills in this one, even though it hurts me to say.
Really?
As much as I'm a Patriots believer, I think that
You think Josh Allen has it?
I think with the Bills winning this past week in a game they should have lost. They absolutely should have lost to the Bengals.
That's true.
They should have. They do it all the time. And I do think it wouldn't shock me if the Patriots win this game, but I don't see the Bills losing to the same team twice in 1 year.
I do. And we'll see that next week.
And we'll see. We'll talk about it next week. But that's at least my thoughts. I do think that my heart tells me I want to take the Patriots, but I think the mind tells me that the Bills might manage to find a way to get the win.
Ooh, that would make that division a little spicy there for a second.
Make it a little more fun for us to talk about.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and then the game that has a lot of wild card implications, you have the Chiefs hosting the Chargers.
Yeah.
And obviously a must-win game for the Chiefs, but just to stay in playoff contention, but also in a division rival. You know, that's really important, you know, because it's almost a 2-game swing when you beat a division rival. You know
Wait,
what
the
I mean?
Chiefs are hosting the Chargers?
Yeah.
So they're back there at the old Arrowhead.
They are, yep.
Selena Gomez,
They stay away.
stay out of that stadium, brother.
Yeah.
It ain't working. Okay.
So yeah, that'll be a good game. The Chargers got the win in the last one, so we'll see. It's tough, man. It's a tough predictor. These are some tough.
That's
games.
going to be the thumbnail for this episode. Selena Gomez ruins Chiefs playoff run.
Oh man, that would be something, huh? Yeah. Anyway, good game to watch. Nonetheless, a very good noon slate. And then in the afternoon slate, so we're talking the 3:05, 3:25 start time.
Here in the Central Standard Time.
Yep, exactly. Obviously different depending on where you're watching it. You have the Seahawks hosting a banged up Colts team. This will be the biggest blowout of the week. This could be 40-7.
I'm predicting the Sea Chickens.
Yeah, that's about the safest thing since sliced bread.
Yep.
Yeah, that's happening no matter what, unless we see a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers potentially sign with the Colts. That
He's
could
just
be
out
nuts.
there. Hey, come on.
But sorry about you guys listening to that. But anyway, and then now what we're discussing is potentially the game of the week.
Here we go.
These are two teams that this could. I don't know if I believe it to be true, but this could be like a potential Super Bowl preview in a sense. Like Broncos host the Packers. What do you think? Do you think this is a Super Bowl opportunity kind of matchup, or what do you think?
It could be.
It could be. I mean, you got two very good teams, obviously here.
Yeah, extremely good.
I'm predicting low scoring for sure in this one.
Yeah.
I think two very good defenses.
Here's the thing on the NFC side.
Yeah.
I see the Sea Chickens scraping the Packers out before they even.
Okay. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a game that could preview some type of, but not this year.
Okay.
It's not
okay.
this year's Super Bowl.
All right. I like it. I like that answer. Actually, I do agree with you a little bit on that too. I don't think the Packers are over the hump caliber this year.
Right.
They have the defense that they went all in with. You trained for Micah Parsons, and they have a pretty solid offense. But without Tucker Kraft over the middle, they don't really have that like dominant possession type player in the receiving game, and that just makes it tough. And they're banged up,
right?
On the O line, and all things considered, I don't like that. But I think the Broncos, this is one of those prove it games.
Yeah,
like, are you legit? Yep. Because obviously you've proved it on a couple different occasions in close games against teams you should beat.
Right.
But this is a game that you might not necessarily. I'm assuming they're probably, being that they're at home, they're probably favored like 1.5, 2.5.
Yeah.
But like, it's not going to be one that's like, okay, the Broncos, they should smoke the Packers. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we'll see. It's going to be a great game to watch nonetheless.
No, that'll be a nice test for sure. Yes. I agree with that.
Yeah, for both teams.
Yeah, but think about this too. Even just the game we just talked about with Patriots Bills. This is kind of that same thing for both sides. Like Broncos are in a prove it game.
Yep.
Patriots are also in a prove it game.
Yep.
Both have matching records. So this week is really going to kind of show the world, or at least the AFC, where these two teams are at.
Right. I mean, it could sway the entire standing of the
Right.
playoff in 1 week.
Yep.
You know, I mean, you could look at maybe the Broncos get the win and the Patriots lose.
Yeah.
You know, and then it's like, okay, well, now you're talking about the Broncos are the favorites all of a sudden.
Yep.
You know, so
If the Packers win, then that puts them in contention with obviously the Rams and the Sea Chickens as well. So
Yeah.
it's like,
yep.
whoa.
Yeah. Big, like I said, this is a big weekend in terms of playoff implications, not only just for fantasy, but the playoff standings
Yep.
as well. So, and then you also have the Saints hosting the Panthers. And the reason why we're talking about this, the Panthers currently are the division leaders.
Whoa.
It's a shocking turnaround. You talk about a team who, you know, was one of the worst in football the last, 2-3 years.
The Saints are scraping the bottom.
Yeah, the Saints are towards the bottom, but they also shocked some people by beating Tampa last week. So the Panthers have a really good defense. They played really solid this year. Tyrell McMillan's really come on the scene, and then I think they'll lean heavily on that running game this week with Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard. The Panthers are a team that
You just like saying his name.
Yeah, it's pretty fun to say his name, but either way, the Panthers are a team that, being that if they're a division winner, they get to host a playoff game. That in a colder weather climate game where you can run the ball, they could be a team that could stifle a really good offense.
Yeah.
With how good the defense can be.
We should make. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
A totally ADD moment. We need to make a women's shirt that says you just like saying his name.
Yeah, that would be
Sports
funny.
and spirits.
Yeah.
You just like saying his name.
Yeah. But, hey, you got to have some few fan favorites out there.
Yeah,
Guys. Speaking of guys that we like to talk about a lot, you got probably the most recent onto the scene rivalry in football, and that is the Rams hosting the Lions.
Now we're talking. This is going to be another good game.
Yeah, another great game. It's a great slate of football.
It is.
And this is a matchup of probably two of the best offenses in the entire league, with a massive scoring output for both teams in this one. This is going to be one that has a ton of fantasy implications. But also, if anybody knows anything, anytime that Matthew Stafford's taken on Jared Goff, they were traded for each other quite a few years ago. That resulted in the Rams winning a Super Bowl. It's always going to be talked about. Could have Jared Goff been the guy that got them over the hump or not? I do believe he could have. And so it's definitely going to be one of those that this could not only impact the long-term standings of the postseason, but who these teams might play. Because by the Rams beating the Lions, that could increase their chances of having to play the Lions again in the playoffs. Whereas if the Lions win, maybe they don't have to see them in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like it's a weird dynamic.
So crazy how this 1 week is going to just change so much.
Oh my God! Like what we see as the standings currently versus what they will be next week. No doubt. Unquestionably, they will be different.
Big shifts.
Yeah, big shifts for sure. And then the game that, unfortunately we won't be watching because it's the only one on Sunday night. The Cowboys host the Vikes. This is one of those that obviously both teams must win to stay in the playoff hunt. But
which quarterback are we going to see?
Yeah, that's the
Which
question.
Version of the quarterback are we going to see?
We'll see J.J. McCarthy, hopefully. But, that's the question. For any of you guys out there, we will talk about it, but I do believe this is the Justin Jefferson game that we've been waiting for all year. They've talked about how, they haven't had to utilize him in certain instances in order to win.
Sure.
This is not a game to win on the ground.
No.
It's going to be a shootout, high-scoring affair. And here's the key. We've talked about it a couple weeks ago, and we were right. The Dallas run the most zone coverage in the entire NFL, and I predicted Rashee Rice would have a big game. Believe he had almost 100 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson is the best zone coverage beater in the entire league in his first 5 years in the NFL. This is a game where he could have close to, I don't want to quote too high of a number, but potentially 200 receiving yards in this one if they actually utilize him properly. Like it's very, like he has the ability, if you somehow manage to make it into the playoffs in your football league, that he's going to be the guy that wins you the week. It's just
it all depends.
Has the makings on it.
It all depends on which version of our quarterback comes to the game.
Right. Because if he's turned the ball over and he can't find the guy in the space, but if he finds him in those windows in zone coverage, Justin Jefferson takes it
won't be his fault.
And he takes a 6-yard reception for 34 yards in zone coverage because they're playing spread out. And he's that good in space. Jordan Addison could also have a very big day.
Sure.
Depending on who they target and who they throw the ball to. So I mean, McCarthy could honestly be QB1 on the week, potentially, if he plays well enough.
Yep.
Like, I mean, that's how bad Dallas is on defense.
Lock that up, okay?
Yeah. So,
JJ, lock it up.
let's go, baby. And then lastly, on Monday night.
Monday Night Football.
You have the Steelers hosting the Dolphins in a game that could, give the Steelers some cushion.
The Dolphins, I haven't heard much about them in a hot minute.
Yeah, they've kind of had a tough season. Luckily, the coach still has his job as of now. They did win this past week against the Jets.
Better watch out. If we call it, you're out.
Watch out.
Basically, that's how it works.
Yeah,
okay?
so.
They're still beating the Jets, though, in their division. So.
Yeah, so that
Jets
doesn't take a whole lot.
The Jets are horrendous.
Yeah,
we haven't
bad.
talked about them much either.
No.
For a big reason.
Yes. But nonetheless, this will be a game you'll be watching on Monday night because it's the only one on, but also it'll be one that'll have a lot of implications in terms of that, not just the AFC North, but who's that team to watch out for.
Yeah.
I don't care what the Ravens record is. I don't care what the Steelers record is. The team I don't want to play in the playoffs is the Ravens. I would way rather, if I'm a team in the AFC, I would way rather see the Steelers in the playoffs because I feel less scared about that team beating me. Because they could have weeks where they play really good, but also I've seen weeks where the Steelers had 100 yards of total offense.
Yeah.
So whereas the Ravens, what you're somewhat getting in terms of in cold weather games, Derrick Henry's going to run the ball.
Right.
Lamar Jackson can beat you now through the air and with his legs. He's been running a lot more. So it's all these games mean a lot. Tune in. It's a full slate of football for you with a lot on the line with only 5 weeks to go.
That's it.
So it's it might only be 4.
You might be right, actually.
It's actually only 4. Yeah, it's 4. Yeah, the week 15, 16, 17, and 18. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, 4 weeks to go.
Whoo.
Boom.
There you have it. That's the NFL coverage for this week. Yep. Now, before we get into fantasy football, there's a bit of a tradition here on the show so far. And that's when we talk about our spirit of the weekend. Like we mentioned at the beginning of the show, this is the Wild Turkey Single Barrel Rye, selected by these two gentlemen right here, plus Tom.
Yep.
Wow. This thing's incredible for several reasons. Coming at 101 proof, which is just a beautiful proof point.
Yep.
I like that.
Yep.
101 proof. Selected this bad boy February, I think.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Came in
It was a
sometime
little cold.
Sometime midsummer.
He'll be able to, talk about his experience on it as we get going as well. Because for any of you guys that don't know, with him helping pick, he got to firsthand experience what that's like to pick a single barrel, which he can speak on in terms of how cool the experience is. But this is our collab with those guys.
It is an awesome experience. Like we mentioned in our last video, we talked a little bit about the Green River store pick again, or single barrel pick. Again, both of these available at 7/8 Liquor in Bloomington, Minnesota. In this case, the distillery will send up samples to the store. We go in and we get to sit down and taste through all the samples. All of them phenomenal.
Sure. Yep.
In their own way.
Yeah. Some better than others.
Yep. Basically, you're sitting down to pick what your favorite is of those samples that you're getting. And they're taken right out of the barrel. They're at barrel strength. So in some cases, like the Green River came at barrel strength.
Yes.
This one got watered down to 101.
Yes.
So during the tasting, it was cool because we were able to kind of, in a way,
rough gas.
Not scientific or anything like that, but you just drop a couple drops of water in there to give it a little bit of a kind of
more realistic.
A look at what it could be at 101 instead of whatever proof it was at. And it's not that far off. It's not like it's 130 proof. They're watering it down to 101. It's 105, 110, somewhere in there.
Yep.
So it's really cool experience just to sit there and taste through all those and then find your best. And then, boom, a few months later, something shows up.
Sure.
And you picked it.
Yeah.
Now, this guy's picked so many barrels. So it's just kind of another Tuesday for him. But for me, incredible experience.
Yeah.
And I'm super honored that they let me be a part of it.
Sure. Yeah, definitely something as we progressively grow with this as well that, if we have an opportunity at some point in the future.
Sports and spirits pick?
Like a sports and spirits thing or something along the lines of, having some community engagement and some kind of event of that sort would be really cool.
Bring you guys in to pick a barrel with us.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I mean, definitely something we'd be open to as we progressively grow with this podcast. But as he said, this is a really good one. If you are not a rye drinker, this is the rye for you. And you can be a rye drinker and still appreciate this as well. That's the thing that's so unique about it. But I would describe it as your bourbon drinker's rye.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes Wild Turkey so good, especially if you're a turkey fan. This is a perfect...
Which we are.
Yeah, well, big fans for sure.
Huge
I'm
fans.
definitely a big fan. But it is one of those that like you could sit there and it's just the experience at 101 proof.
Yep.
It's not going to like be super sharp and super like harsh on the finish and not super spicy. It's got just kind of all the elements of a rye whiskey with a little bit of that bourbon softness that you really, really like. And
that sweetness, because a lot of the bourbons are a little bit sweeter, not like, oh my gosh, I just dumped a bunch of sugar in something. Not like that.
Yep.
You got to put it in relativity.
Yep.
A sweet bourbon is still not like eating a birthday cake.
Yes.
And so this is closer to that bourbon flavor, which is why he's saying that this is a bourbon drinker's rye, because a lot of times, and Michter's does a really good job of this as well. They're probably one of the closest just regular offering bourbon drinker's rye. If your palate is more drawn to that sweeter, tamed, more round edge type of a flavor, then the regular bourbons are generally what you're going to gravitate towards. But this is a nice bridge between maybe heading down the path of getting into some ryes. Maybe you've wondered, I don't really like some of these ryes, but you could have been drinking a rye that's super on the edge of like a 95.5 rye.
Yeah, just predominantly the mash bill's just so high.
Exactly. And so you're going to get those harsh edges. You're going to get that spice. It's going to feel, and especially if you're newer in your bourbon journey, it's like, that's a lot.
Yeah, usually it's not something you're in your early stages you gravitate towards.
Right.
And I think the cool part about this one, well, not also to mention it's extremely scarce. In Minnesota here, there was a single pick last year, and there was only 2 this year.
Right.
So it's one of those that you literally can't find everywhere, and so it's super unique, and it's also older than a lot of rye you see on the shelf in just terms of the regular ryes.
Sure.
Most ryes anywhere between 4 to 5 years generally that you see on the shelf, and this one's a little over like 6.5.
Nice.
So it's going to be a little bit softer in that regards too, so it really elevates that experience for sure.
I strangely on this last sip got a little bit of milk chocolate towards the back of my palate.
Okay.
And I really dug it.
All right.
But this one has like we were talking before, this one has that a dark fruit note on the nose for me in the beginning. And that is something you would more likely find in a bourbon. Or even
like that caramely-ness that you don't expect in a rye.
Right.
Like it's, as he mentions, the slight sweetness with the dark fruit element. It's normally your traditional bourbon, and it's definitely cool. It's a rye experience.
I love it.
So,
and that's why we picked it. We wanted this to be like one of those ryes that can bridge the gap between two different players. Somebody that's more drawn to rye is gonna love this. Somebody that's more drawn to bourbon is probably gonna love this. So it's like it's that sweet spot right in the middle of 2 big camps.
And I would drink this all day long. I would just drink it straight. But man, would it make a great cocktail too?
Oh, a rye old fashioned with this would be insane.
Yeah, it would be so good.
Oh my gosh!
But either way, something to check out. Please come check us out. 7 Ace Liquors in Bloomington. We'll have some crazy specials going on, some whiskey drops over the course of the holidays. So tune in and check it out.
There you have it. That's the spirit of the weekend. Let's get into some fantasy football.
Let's do it.
Things are heating up.
It's
playoffs in some leagues.
Yeah, I would say probably about 85% of leagues, you probably started your playoffs this week. A lot of leagues are set up where you eliminate that last week because a lot of those stud players are on bye. So most playoffs are weeks 15, 16, and 17. And at least in my leagues and a lot of his leagues that we're in, the playoffs start this week.
Yep.
So here's my piece of advice. So with this being the start of the playoffs, obviously we wish you guys the best of luck.
Dang right we do.
Obviously we want anybody that has supported us or watched us and used any of our fantasy advice throughout the season. Hopefully it helped you get there. And if it did, awesome. Drop it in the comments. Let us know. What piece of advice at one point during the season helped you, win that matchup that ended up being the difference. Just let us know. We're just curious, and then what else you want to see from us going into the playoff time or even into next year in terms of weekly insights.
Yeah.
Because obviously we can adapt with the times and adapt with the channel. And
we just want to deliver what our audience wants to see.
Yeah. And so we'll do some different stuff too. But like the one thing I have to say when it comes to this, don't leave anything on the table. When it comes to, a guy on a bench, I understand the idea of keeping a guy that has like the matchups the next week. You have to weigh the cost reward of that.
Right.
But it's win or go home. I mean, if you lose in week 15, I don't care who your matchups are for week 16 and 17 of your bench players. If there's a guy on the waiver wire or there's a guy that, potentially could see an increased role in a certain game script, you have to take the risks and try to win.
Yep.
Because otherwise you're not going to have not only a fantasy championship belt, but you're not going to be playing in the next round either.
And in some cases, losing out on some cash, baby.
Yeah. Maybe a few play in a few leagues that have something on the line in that regards. But it's tough because you play this whole year. You play 14 weeks, 15 weeks, depending on when your playoffs start.
Yep.
And it comes down to one single week in terms of who your guys play.
And you play a little too risky.
Yeah.
You leave somebody on the team that should be out because you need to win this week.
Yep. And, I almost did it this past week, and I still am kicking myself for it. I had an opportunity in my one league to pick up Michael Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
Left him on the waiver wire, and I opted to keep Cortland Sutton instead. And now Cortland Sutton plays Green Bay this week, so that's a pretty crap matchup.
Yeah.
And so if I would have won, had picked up Wilson and moved him into my lineup, I would have probably been playing a different opponent. And that would change the outcome of my playoff trajectory probably here because the team I'm playing now is going to probably beat me. So that's just an example of what I'm saying. I played with the idea of, okay, I like Sutton against the Raiders instead of playing with my heart that was telling me pick up Wilson,
right,
who I believed in and I've been a big believer of, as we've talked in the past. But, that's kind of the sword you live on. If you don't make the move, you can't say that you did. So
that's it. Yikes.
Yeah.
There you have it.
Yeah.
There's not much that we can cover right now because we're going into the playoffs. We're just going to give you some quick insights, some quick looks at what we think you should be doing here.
Yeah.
Also, make sure and check out our shorts. We've got some shorts coming out. They're going to tell you, the top 5 guys you need to be starting or picking up off the waiver wire.
Yeah.
Also, the guys you need to be sitting because of their matchups, because of what's going on, and all that type of stuff. We're trying to make sure that we're helping out in that way as well.
For sure.
Let's talk some hoops.
Yeah.
Got some big stuff coming.
Yeah, there's some big stuff going on. So as you guys are watching this, you would have probably seen the conclusion of some of those quarterfinal Emirates games on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we are back onto a semi-regular normal slate of games on Thursday, Friday.
Nice.
So on Thursday, you have the Bucks hosting the Celtics, but no Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's still out with a calf injury.
You just like to say his name.
It's a good one. Yeah, if you saw it on paper, you probably don't know how to say it.
Yeah. Even seeing it in the notes here,
Yeah.
I would be like Giannis.
Giannis, yeah. He gets called that a lot. And then Antetokounmpo, his last name is
I
even
couldn't
crazy.
have done that.
His shirt does this. It does the
Oh,
last
wow,
name.
that's so much letters.
Yeah, so
It's got the whole alphabet in there.
So we'll see. Obviously, I love the Celtics in this one. They just have looked really good this last 2 weeks. They've kind of figured out their rotation. Kind of the guys they're going to roll with, and that's been good to see. Also, you'll have the Kings hosting the Nuggets. Russell Westbrook just came off another triple-double. At this point, what do you not expect from the
Right.
guy? He just does it time and time again. His ability to make plays, play on defense, light up the scoring sheet.
Yep.
And anytime he plays the Nuggets is fun too because he was just on their team last year.
Yeah.
So a little incentive for him to play a little bit better, and it'll be a good game to watch.
Yeah,
It's a
for
good
sure.
slate on Thursday, and then Friday. I think honestly,
Ooh, Westbrook's old.
yeah,
Sorry.
you're good. Yeah, how old?
He's 37
yeah,
years old.
Yeah, he is. But to still have a triple double is pretty
Exactly.
crazy. You know what I mean?
Yep.
To be that old and still balling like that's pretty impressive.
He's doing it.
But then, on Friday, you have probably a little bit better slate, in my opinion. You have the Timberwolves going on the road to take on the Golden State Warriors.
Ooh.
So that'll be a good game. I don't know whether or not we will see Steph Curry. He's rumored to potentially be back for this game.
Okay.
But if not, that would obviously be advantage Timberwolves.
Yep.
But, hey, I've seen us go into games against teams that are
Another
very
old
short-handed.
guy.
And, Curry's old, too, yeah.
Oh, Unk status here.
Well, the Golden State Warriors have the oldest roster in the NBA.
Really?
Yeah, they're starting 5. You got like Draymond, Jimmy Butler, Al Horford.
Ooh, Jimmy Butler's still in it?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, he's making like $60 million this year.
Holy balls.
Yeah. Could you imagine?
No,
it must
I can't.
be tough. Must be tough at
gotta
like
be rough.
36 or 37 years old making
Right.
$60 million.
It's gotta be rough life.
Yeah, it's so. And Curry's making the same.
Dang.
It's just crazy. But they just make so much money. It doesn't even bother me at this point. It's become accustomed to the
It just
thing.
is what it is.
Yeah, and then you also have the Pistons hosting the Hawks. This will be the game I'm most tuned into. I love the young talent on both these two teams. This is going to be the Cade Cunningham versus Jalen Johnson show.
Now we're talking.
And I can't wait. I mean, I'm going to be honest. That's one of those that I have like circled on my paper.
Johnson's been crushing it.
He's been crushing it. Cade Cunningham's been the best scorer in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
The Pistons are the best team in the East. I mean, I've been a big believer in the Hawks from the jump.
Yeah.
Obviously, without Trae Young, it makes it a little tough, to see what that potential looks like. But Nas stepped in and played really good basketball. Neil Alexander Walker, the former Timberwolf.
Yep.
He's played really good, serviceable for them. But for whatever reason, they have Jalen Johnson playing more of that point forward position rather than like having Na play point guard, which is why he's getting these triple doubles. Because he's still like 6'8", so that's why he's getting the rebounds.
It appears to be a great spot for him.
Yeah, he's absolutely hooping right now. It's been awesome to see. And then you got the Sixers will host the Pacers. This would be a game with Halliburton if he was in, or some of these other guys that are banged up for them would be a little bit more entertaining. But nonetheless, Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, if these guys can figure out a way to stay healthy and put together a stretch of games, the Sixers would be a team to watch out for. It's just been the issue has been consistency.
Right.
It seems like the team that's on the court has changed every single game.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And when that happens, your rotations don't get dialed in. Your team flow and chemistry kind of gets thrown off. And I like to note it every time they play just to see who's in.
Yeah.
Like who's going to play in this one. So that's just one I wanted to, mention for that Friday slate.
One thing we were talking to off air was that since the Commissioner's Cup's happening, there's not as many games this week.
Yes. So, as he had mentioned, because of the Commissioner Cup, you only saw 2 games on Tuesday and 2 games on Wednesday, as well as on Saturday, you'll have the semifinals.
You were talking quick, sorry.
Yeah, you're good.
About the effect on fantasy basketball this
Yes.
week has and
Yes,
how
yes, yes.
some players are going to be playing and now you have so many teams that aren't playing and it's going
Yep.
to impact your fantasy leagues
For sure.
pretty substantially.
Yeah. I guess I can talk about that. Yeah. So basically, if anybody that has been out there that has been watching our channel and you do play a little fantasy basketball as well, we will kind of migrate into some of that talk and coverage as we go into the winter months here because that's kind of going to be the focal point on the fantasy side of things. But for a lot of your players who had played, anywhere between 2 to 4 games a week, because of this weird week that we have in store, where if your team's not in the NBA Cup or the Commissioner's Cup, however you would like to describe it, they won't play as many games.
Right.
They will not play a game on Tuesday. They will not play a game on Wednesday, and they definitely will not play a game on Saturday. So unless your team played on Monday night, your team, you might only have your guy for 1 game this week, potentially at most 2.
And your opponent could have somebody that's playing a lot of those games.
Yeah, exactly. Your opponent could have somebody that plays on Tuesday and on Saturday or on Wednesday and on Saturday where you have nobody going at all.
Yeah.
So don't, by all means, please do not think this is a must-win week, drop your stud players to go pick up the bench players that are on the teams that are playing.
Yep.
By all means, sometimes it's just unlucky.
Yeah.
Take the loss. Do not have the expectation that if I lose this week, I'm not going to win. If you want to try to take advantage of it, by all means, you're going to sacrifice the rest of your season for it. It's not worth it.
Right.
So don't do that.
I guess our main point is just take a second to understand what this week is about and make those adjustments as needed.
Yes, as needed. I agree. That's the greatest way to put it because, you don't want to sabotage the rest of your season for one week. But yeah, as he's talked about on Saturday, like we will know more about who those matchups are, and the times of them will be determined by the winners on Tuesday and Wednesday. But those semifinal matchups for that Emirates Cup or Commissioner's Cup will be on Saturday.
Yep.
And then you'll see it back to a regular slate on Sunday. You'll have the Timberwolves hosting the Kings. This will be the second time we play them. I've played them just this Wednesday as well. So you'll see them play the same team twice. So expect similar results in those games.
You going to any of these ones?
Yeah. Nice. I'm actually at both. So I'll get to see the same game twice. Yeah. Which is all right, I guess. It could be worse.
It could be way worse.
Yeah. But either way, and then you also have the Hawks hosting the 76ers. Definitely a good game to watch there on your Sunday. Although I don't know how much basketball I'll be tuned in with how good that NFL slate is.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. So either way, something to look out for. But then on Monday, the Celtics will host the Pistons in what I believe is a matchup of some of the hottest teams in the East right now, as well as potentially a matchup you could see playoff time just based on how the seedings work out. The Celtics could be around that 7-8 seed, and that Pistons are 1-2. And then you also have the Nuggets hosting the Rockets. Very, very highly talented matchup. These guys have played a couple close games already this year. Come down to the wire. Got that Sengun versus Jokic kind of combo deal going on there.
Yep.
Definitely one to tune into for sure.
Wow.
That's your very semi-abbreviated NBA coverage because there's not a lot of games. But
there's some good ones.
Some exciting ones.
Yep.
The ones that are happening.
For sure. Now for a little bit of ice coverage.
Yeah, just a little.
Just a quick touch.
Yep.
Let you know what's coming up here in the NHL.
Yeah.
Starting with tonight, Thursday.
Yeah. As you're watching, you'll see quite a few games. There's about 8 to 10 games each night this weekend for hockey. So if you want to get your hockey dosage, we don't even begin to scratch the surface of games going on. But there's plenty to watch depending on who your favorite team is. The Wild will host the Stars on Thursday. The Capitals will host the Hurricanes.
Now we're talking.
And the Islanders will host the Ducks, as well as Avalanche host the Panthers. So you got some, there could be 6 playoff teams out of these 8 that we just talked about, if not more. These are all really good games.
Yep.
So, you can't watch them all because they're all like in the same timing.
Who are you thinking, like, playoff teams? Hurricane?
I do like the Hurricanes.
Ducks?
I do like the Ducks.
Avalanche?
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like the Wild. I definitely like the Stars.
Yeah.
And then I think the Capitals could be a team that's sneaking in as a wild card as well.
Really?
Yeah. And the Islanders have been hot too. They just beat the Avalanche. So,
Thursday night's got some big games.
Those are big games, So obviously we'll see as the season unfolds whether these predictions on these teams being at the top stay true. Injuries happen and things happen and ebbs and flow happen. So, but the name you got to love to say on Friday, you got the Mammoth. Host the Kraken.
The Kraken.
Honestly, I'm only
2
talking
really great names.
Yeah, it's the only reason why I mentioned it.
You just like to say their names.
Yeah, that's the only reason why I mentioned it. I'm going to be honest. I will not watch the game, but I just wanted to mention it because those names are fantastic.
The Mammoth and the Kraken.
And in a game that, will be interesting to watch is the Blues will host the Blackhawks, which is because there's only 2 games on Friday. That's why I wanted to touch on it.
Right on.
These are the only 2 games that are on Friday for you for hockey. So, that Friday slate, probably more dominant for me on watching some basketball rather than the hockey. But those are, if you wanted to tune in, those are the games to watch.
He has 40 screens at his house. So we'll watch
something
everything.
like that. Yeah, I'll watch quite a few. I don't know about 40, but either way, yes. On Saturday, though, another massive slate of games. The Wild host the Senators. The Devils will host the Ducks. The Penguins host the Sharks. The Stars host the Panthers. And the Flyers host the Hurricanes.
More big hitting games.
Boom, just big hitting games. That's been the best part about this hockey season is if you eliminate a couple of those really, really elite top teams, they're all conjugated in that same range of skill level.
What's nice about this week is you won't have, on Saturday at least, you won't have as much NCAA stuff going on. So
right. Yeah, you can watch some hockey.
It's good Saturday for hockey.
And it's going to be about 4 degrees here.
Right.
So
you might as well just live it and watch it.
Yeah, live it and watch it, So, it'll be perfect to watch some hockey if you haven't, maybe got into it yet this year.
Yep.
It's a good slate to start.
Yep.
I think the Wild could honestly just beat down the Senators a little bit, just their better team. So we'll see. But the Wild just got pretty banged up here the other night.
Uh-oh.
But either way, on Sunday, the Wild will then host the Bruins. That'll be a good game. I love watching these two teams play. The Hurricanes will then now host the Flyers. They're rotating. And then you have the Canadians host the Oilers, which obviously whenever you have two Canadian teams play each other, there's that rivalry.
Yeah.
And then you have the Penguins hosting the Mammoth.
The Mammoth. That's what they used to call him in high school.
Yeah,
They called me the Kraken.
Ouch. No, that's not true. I'm going to put that out there. That's not true.
It's not because of, it's for other reasons.
Yeah, there you go. But either way, yeah, that is.
That's also why they called me the Kraken.
Yeah, there you go.
What about Monday?
Yeah, and then Monday, just two games to highlight here. You got the Rangers hosting the Ducks and the Stars hosting the Kings. Just a couple good games there to watch to kind of transition you into the next time we see you and kind of highlight what happened in hockey. So that's your hockey weekend spotlight.
That's all your sports spotlights and weekend awesomeness. This is really another great week in sports.
Yeah.
There's so much going on.
It's been good.
Really excited to see what happens this weekend. We've got a lot of predictions on the line, so tune in next Tuesday to see who was correct in their predictions. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on our other social media channels, and we will see you in the next one. Peace. Nailed it.